Hundreds of demonstrators gathered outside the U.S. Supreme Court on the second anniversary of what's become known as the Dobbs decision. The court's decision overturned the 1973 landmark Roe v. Wade ruling. It had a swift impact across the country by allowing multiple states to create various restrictions on abortion. The decision is a topic that is expected to play a heavy role for voters in the upcoming American presidential election.
Today, our daughters know fewer rights than their grandmothers. This is a healthcare crisis, and we all know who was to blame. Donald Trump. This is a fight for freedom. The fundamental freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not having her government tell her what to do. And 2 years ago, on that day, I actually made a prediction that overturning Roe v. Wade would be the opening shot on a full-on assault, state by state, on reproductive freedom. And that is exactly what happened. Over the past 2 years, in states across our nation, extremists have proposed and passed laws that criminalize doctors and punish women. Laws that limit access to contraception and to fertility treatments like IVF. Even some of them trying to revive laws from the 1800s. Today in America, 1 in 3 women of reproductive age lives in a state with an abortion ban. And Trump has not denied, much less shown remorse for his actions. Instead, he, quote, proudly takes credit for overturning Roe. My fellow Americans, in a court of law, that would be called an admission. And some would say a confession, all pointing to the ultimate issue. In the case of the stealing of reproductive freedom from the women of America, Donald Trump is guilty.
I took a lot of heat, a lot of hits, but we did the right thing. They're great people. Thanks to these justices, we have also achieved what the pro-life movement fought to get for 49 years, and we've gotten abortion out of the federal government and back to the states. The way everybody and all legal scholars always said it should be. Nobody thought that would happen. That's what they wanted. The whole thing was they wanted the Roe v. Wade was federal, and they wanted it all back in the states where the people could vote and make their decisions. It's now up to the will of the people in each state. Some states will be more conservative, other states will be more liberal. It's happening now. You see the votes are all taking place. And it's the way every legal scholar and just about all the Democrats and all the Republicans and conservatives and liberals, they all wanted it that way, and we did something that was amazing. The big problem was it was caught up in the federal government, but the people will decide, and that's the way it should be. The people are now deciding, and some states are a little bit more conservative, and some states are much more liberal. If the radical Democrat extremes get their way, they will have a federal law for abortion to rip the baby out of the womb in the 7th, 8th, and 9th month, and even execute the baby after birth.